Ready? Winston, come. Nice job, sir. So with Mr. W, I wanted to work a little bit more with that stay position we were practicing a little bit earlier. So we're going to set him up in a sit or a down. He's like, greatest day of my life. So I'm going to tell him to stay. And in the beginning, remember, we're not going to add tons of distance, but maybe more the duration. So right now, remember, think of stay as in freeze tag with room service. We're feeding Mr. W for being stationary. So if, let's say, this was really hard and he wiggles, I'm going to try and bring him back to roughly where I had him, get another little sit, tell him to stay, and see if I can, again, rapid fire feed him full while he's being stationary. If this was really hard, I want to keep it short and sweet. So right there, I'd say all done, and we'd get up and we'd wiggle. So that way, the only time he's being fed is while he's stuck in the sit or down stay. So again, stay. And right now you'll see that I'm not adding distance, so I'm just working that time frame for starters. So I tend to, in the beginning, oh my goodness, if we can chew them, is I tend to do one snack every few seconds. So what I'm doing is I'm building up duration while also building value in being stationary. Sometimes as the heat comes on and off, they get a little confused as to the noises and where they're coming from. So if I lose him, I might go, Winston, regain his attention, get another little sit. Remember that this jumping is a learned behavior that he has been practicing. So remember, you're not going to instantly get rid of things your babe has been doing for weeks to months, or some of them even years. So this right here is really nice. We're feeding for all four on the floor, and I'm going to again feed one last little snack. Beautiful. And then all done. And then if we want, we could add a little bit of touch if he doesn't dislike it. And then that way, that could be his breaking from the position. I think of stay as, oh my goodness, a freeze tag with room service. Oh, I'm dropping snacks from my slimy fingers. So freeze tag with room service. So as your puppy is building up this duration, they can eventually start to build in bigger chunks between each rep. And then as you're working through the different time frames, you would then be maybe shortening the time frame, but now working through distraction sets, working through distances. Oh my goodness, chewing and running is so hard. But if, let's say, your babe was really struggling with a sit stay, make sure you're not doing all three at once. So if we go to do some jumping, I just turn and pivot, let him slide off. If, let's say, he kept going, then I'm going to ask him for something else in exchange. There we go, nice. So if I don't love the jumping, I'm not going to say no, off, down, stop it, knock it off, and touch him, because a lot of times that's that negative attention that he might still find part of the reinforcement. He's like, oh, there's all these cool toys. So we might go into a little sit. Yes. And we might tell him to stay. I'm going to see if I can, again, just a couple little rapid fire moments, keep his engagement with keeping him focused through the food a little bit. And then as he's doing really well, we'll let him break again with the end cue, and then give him a little breather again. Nice. Beautiful. So right here we might go all done, and then we can pat the handsome guy. There is no food for that release again. So this one, unlike the wait behavior where they're waiting and you call them to you, stay is all about being stationary. So let's say, for example, I'm going to give him a little break. Oh, he didn't see that one. Ready? Find it. So let's say we're taking a break from the stay and you wanted to sort of work a little bit with weights. Weights are going to be different than your stay. So I normally don't do this one after the other because it gets confusing to you and sometimes the puppy, but I wanted to show you after doing a few stay reps what a weight would look like instead. So he would be sitting. He says, hold on, there was a good noise. Ready? Winston. So I'm just going to feed him for that lovely name recognition, fix his cute little hat. And we're going to go into, ready, a little bit of a sit. He's like, but I'm so tired. Well, that's very nice. I'm going to tell him to wait, have him hold it for a second or two, and then Winston come. So with the wait behavior, I like to have them hold back for whatever tolerant time they have. So like it could be 1 to 3 seconds that they can tolerate, and then recall them from there. So again, we're going to get a little set. I'm going to tell him to wait, hold it for a second or two, and then Winston come. So you'll see that I'm not adding tons of distance on top of this. I'm just simply working with the time frame. Ready? And he's a little bit tired, so he's doing a little bit more popping than usual. So again, wait. And I don't care if he's looking at other things and gets a little distracted. The main goal is he's waiting until we say, Winston, come, and then you feed him for that. So the wait behaviors could be used for wait and then get called to you with that lovely recall. It could be wait and then be released to go grab their food dish or a dog toy or some sort of item. But it just pretty much means hold back until I call you forward or release you to go grab that thing. Ready? Find it. So Again, think of stay as being reinforced for being stationary and wait for being reinforced for when there's movement and breaking of the position. So, but again, he's done a very good job again today. That was a pretty impressive jump again. So we're going to call it a day for all the beauties. But again, they're doing splendid with their practice. So just make sure at home you're just doing little bits at a time. So it's not overwhelming for you or overwhelming for them. And then everybody will be set up for more greater success. So short and sweet for again, easy time for him and for you. Good job, Mr. W.